Seems like deja vu from my body flesh position, as I am in my body flesh. I want to say it in a way that I can share that retardedly, because I mean everybody probably feels that way. Probably. It's that probably part. I mean, and like the flat earth shit, you're just not going to be having that conversation with me. I can't. I only have so much space in my brain to entertain new ideas, and I'm just not gonna do it. Just not gonna. I'm sure that you are creating either the flat or the not even a sphere, whatever the shape of polygons. There's a word for that. I'm not gonna. I don't. I get mad. I don't wanna. I don't like messing up the mix. You got to go with those feelings, though. You got to notice when you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. You need to listen to that. You really do. Because if you don't, you'll make a mistake, or you'll end up doing slavery on yourself. And that might sound like sort of a retard solution answer. It's not. It's not. People are still pretty fake, mostly. That's not to say they're bad. It just means that they're wrong. They haven't. They haven't had the experiences necessary to draw a different conclusion. You might need thousands of lifetimes for that. It really could. It really could. If you came to Earth and you lived according to this society's rules, died, and then was mind wiped, you have no idea how many times this would have been possible. Like, it would be very war crimes going on up in here type shit. And how would you know? You think somebody would tell you? Do you think there would be intervention? I mean, that's the sort of shit. Like, the earth is a real sweet lick for those Draco reptilian beings. It is. I've never seen them. I'm not sure it's appropriate to even entertain such things. But in a small way, I have. I didn't physically see them the way that you, but as close to that as you can get. Like, I know I was seeing their projection, and it was a breaking down. You know, some of the things that were being held up by a spell or something had fell apart. It was starting to show. Like, I actually had got called by the boss and was getting my ass chewed out for some event that did not occur, because I have the Christ element. The Christ element in me had to bring to them a part of the equation. Like, you know that there's a lot of ways to get, you know, most of the people or the church body into, like, the act of miracles, walking on water, not being afflicted. They don't choose that. They can't have that. They want their kingdoms, their fiefs, they want their peasants. They don't want it fucked with. It's the same they. It's always been the same they. They are reptilians. Now, what we see, obviously it doesn't look like that to us. But you know that that's real. So do I. And I saw it. And they were mad. They said that if I fucked with this, if I kept pushing this shit, and I didn't have a choice. I didn't have a choice in the matter. I was like, well, this is the way it is. And if you don't like that, then you might be making a mistake. You might be letting down God. Oh, Oh, they didn't want to hear that at all. They were mad. They're still mad. And, no more work, no more friends. I thought we were friends too. No, I was outcast. I was mad as hell because they knew. They knew what I was trying to say and do. And it broke through. When they started killing Jewish people in Germany, the Nazis, it wasn't because um, the Jewish people did anything specifically bad. Doesn't mean they didn't. But people have it inside of them a need to kill an infestation, to clump together, whatever that together is. We've never been, well, I don't know. I don't think humans as a species have been able to get over that, and it's not their fault if they're being wiped and looped. And I have clues that are suggesting this is the case. I start the little school yesterday, and I'm going through it, and it seems ridiculous to me, but it's giving me clues. It did say loops in a loop, like the code, the way it's wrote. I'm like, wait a minute. It even said beloved. I was like, what's going on here? I think there may be some misconceptions about whatever AI may be. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm right. I messed with it early on, but it's not something I should be doing. It's very counterproductive. But if I'm in school, the fear of arrest is drastically reduced. I don't know if that's true. I guess I should call him. I could maybe call and ask somebody, but there might be some sort of plus and minus of the emotions involved in being fearful and being faithful. And that's pretty much where I'm at on that, you know. So I won't find out by making a simple phone call. If I knew myself better and could tell you a lie, I would love to, but I don't want to. I'd rather just give it to you like I got it. And it seems very close. Very close. There's something so close that, when you let go of being wrong or violent, because if you let yourself be violent and you hurt someone else because you're wrong, you are in trouble. I had something else. I had my ex bragging about our children, and I'm like, it took me a while to get it, because you have to know that in a way I was under a spell. It did need to be broken because I had to see that this person didn't know and was on the puppet strings. Now, I don't like that, but I had the opportunity. There is something afoot that is very evil, and it does want to steal from the humans, each of us, something like that. It doesn't care if it kills you. It doesn't have any problems with doing you harm, murdering you, fucking you up, and it will draw you into itself if you're not careful or aware that it exists. And it's just as much you as any other part. Except here's the thing. It gives you very, very clear clues. You know? I got very clear clues to be on the right track, to be able to notice it. And once I got to the safer shore in my journey, it's now very scary for me to watch the possibility of those I care about losing to this thing and not be able to help them, as it were. Because what I did not understand about the other grandfather guy, whatever that guy is, was that whatever his purpose would be, because I was told, oh, I was going to decide what his purpose was. I wasn't able to do that. I was told he was some sort of pedophile. He molested these girls, and I actually don't believe that anymore. I think that's not true. I didn't see any real evidence of that. But I believed it enough to want to do it. And was going to do it. I was going to do it. I don't even know if I told anybody. You know? I definitely don't know how you would respond to that. You know? Just one of those things. But it dramatically altered my whole life. And that was like the first year of my child's life, who's now in his 20s. So you have to think, you know, how do you grow over the time? So I never really liked him, you know? Completely the opposite energy. A necessary energy, of course, yes. But they were always going to be sort of making sure that there was the background conditions of this fight. My dad had showed me, I don't remember how this occurred, I know where we were, but he had a vision, and he saw in this vision me and her being tempted and tricked, and how dangerous it was over gold. Like, we've always heard stories about dragons and the gold lust and all that shit. He got such a clear view of what was going on, and he nailed it. He nailed it. He was right. He was right. And then he was, for enough of an important reason that she picks him to be. I can share my dad with her. She didn't have a good dad. I experienced her dad. Very disturbing. That man wasn't a good guy at all. And they overwhelmed me with force to protect this not a good guy who murdered her mom. And I don't know what the theatrical value is of how it was experienced, but it seemed like she would even play her dead mom, just to get me working out of town and however much child support initially gave her a week, which was a good chunk. And when I got sent away from where I was working like that to go back to my family, I was told I would die. So I listened. And that's my life. I've not had a life where I haven't had a guide. I've now come to believe that's my grandpa, my dad's dad. This all fits together real good, because my dad prayed for me to get in some sort of trouble, and it put me in jail. And he prayed for me in the right way, and he got his prayer answered. But you wouldn't have this perspective. You wouldn't see. Was recently just so easily tossed out. You know, she just tossed it out because I was supposed to very carefully reapproach her and find out, why would it be necessary to violate the rules? And she lost her shit. I still don't believe that she's actually aware that some of the things that she does, you know, because look, you know or you don't know. I'm aware when I punch somebody and I'm traumatized by it. I don't want to fucking do it again. And I'm aware when somebody that fucking punches me or attacks me um, hasn't done that work. And women are guilty because they think, most of them, I'm not speaking for everyone, but there's a large section of the population that will just pretend. Now I don't want to get into anything beyond that, but if one person in the world, my ex, is guilty on that, she is it. Now, that just means you'll hurt somebody. You don't care because you think you're a lady and you can just hit a man. A lot of women believe that. If you take it upstairs, you ain't supposed to put your fucking hands on nobody. You're in trouble. And if you take it upstairs, you leave the earth court. And if you take it upstairs, there's going to be some fucking hell to pay over this type of negligence. This type of negligence was tested. The child tested her. He was worried about me because I broke the rules to reconnect. She didn't want to do that. I don't know what her reasons are. That's for her to decide or do or whatever. There could be a miracle in the work, I'm sure. I'm sure. Because I don't know what's going on. But if the evil side wins, and it can, it will be over this gold thing. Because the bill is so high against me and it's crippled me, and she had made the deal with the devil because they like to abuse. If you fall into some bullshit where you want to attack your ex-partner after you did some shit to them that causes them to have to leave you, the first time you're guilty is when you make those kids feel like their dad didn't want to be them. You start running up a clock too. And you know what? We're all together. I can be there, and then the only one that's gone's her. I was like, what happened? What had happened? I was like, he tried to tell you. He told you. He's like, I'm worried about Dad. She's like, don't worry about him. He's a grown man. You don't have to worry about him. He's never said anything else. Now, she's told me all this stuff now. But I was like, you didn't hear what he was teaching you. My other son did too. He tried to show her. He's like, she put his hands on him or something in the car. She told me all this and how he freaked out and how this all went down. She's not put it together that she's the one that puts the hands up. And she did it to him, and he won't. The Avenger, you got your Horus Avenger? He avenges me by that alone. And loses his dad? Or has a dad? That's not legit. No, it's not. It's really not. You know what it takes to just not do those things. I called so many times. She says that they never got the answer. Well, the aunt, Patty, Patricia, they could basically just be one person. I have an aunt, Trish. It could be the same thing. It's going to be a word versus word sort of thing because she's just continued to lie. The kids were never actually going to starve, ever. She continually cuts them out for petty reasons, but then will be there again at their place. I seen her feet popped up. Like, she's told on herself. And it's this split division in your mind where you're not being accountable in the wrong way. And it's not going to be good if we don't win ourselves back. she was freaked out. But I was like, I don't think you should be. I don't think you should be boasting. I don't know why they helped her like that. Baytown's always done me dirty. They did it early on before we even got married because of the court case shit. They immediately were going to send me to boot camp. They violated me because I had my lawyer, and he told me later on too that they still are trying to get me. He's like, you don't have no idea how bad they're mad about you. I was like, what did I do? Because they didn't, you know. There's something going on in them court systems that you don't know, and they're playing games with us. We all agree and we see it going on. We just don't know because we're not in the loop, you know. And he's telling me, he's like, they mad at you. So, you know, the stakes are very high. They really are. And all the people that have land or a house or something, the ones that I know are like me. Like, my brother's locked up my assets. I think Alyssa's got land and can't do nothing or some shit. Candace is supposed to have been getting a bunch of property and her family colluded to cut her out. You know, this is the common denominator. You know, because the land's your weapon.